Is angle right? That looks pretty. Right. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. For everyone that's seen my recent YouTube videos of doing the Hive, we recently hit a record of 22 minutes, and I want to give you a breakdown of my Sword and Shield build and why it is effective for the team. So first off, we're going to go over the sword. The Butcher will be the best for overall damage. It gives a lot of bleeds, so stacked over damage over time. And I use the Moonstone. The Moonstone is pretty much because Power and Soul, Whirling Blade, and then your last ability is going to have more damage, and then every hit after that is going to do more damage. And see the cooldowns are quite long on the Sword and Shield, so Moonstone's probably the best damage output and output uptime on high damage. I use Vines, these are very helpful for the Corvids to keep them settled, and I use a Thunder and Shockwave Hammer. The more rend, the better. Also, stunning the shockwaves makes them not run off or jump in the air and fly away, so it makes it easier for your team to control these. I go with a Frost Amulet. A lot of the Corvids and the spiders run at you, and they do frost damage. The balls do strike damage, so I would suggest getting some strike and some onyxes in there. Nature damage is also, but you don't really need that much nature damage on the mobs. So I would go for mostly physical resistance. And make sure you're stacked on Empowering Toast. So when you drink, you get 10% Empower. Plus you have the Empowering you apply lasts 34% longer. That means before you enter a fight, you'll drink a mana potion, and there you go. You're empowered for 13 seconds, increasing how much damage output you do. I go with the Wizard Hat, and I put Upheaval in this, so I get more damage, 12% extra damage when I use Upheaval. I was hitting 18 to 19k on the first boss in the Hive. And then the rest of the gear is pretty average gear. I haven't min-maxed it at all, which I could do. But I want to get 4 refreshing, try to get my cooldowns back faster. And then I've gone for the Artisan Round Shield of Keen, Vicious, Shield Aggression, and Enchanted Ward. That boosts my damage. Artisan has been upgraded in the Forge. It used to be you could only make it to level 600, now you can make it to 700, increase your critical chance and your Keen and Vicious 7% from 6.3%, or was it 6.2? Oh, yeah, and the key perks are Enchanted Ward, Refreshing, and Health, or just, or if you just have 2 perks, Enchanted Ward and Refreshing are your best go-tos. Stat distribution. So I've gone 350 strength for the base damage to abilities and final attacks to your light melee attacks, because I will be doing non-stop light melee attacks after I've used all my abilities. And the reason being, if we go into my weapon mastery skill, the final attack of your light chains includes 15% rend. So I'll be putting rend on every mob I hit on my third attack. I'd also be getting the third attack in your light attack chain deals 15% more damage and generates additional threat. But you don't have to worry about threat. You won't keep threat. Your tank will keep the threat because you don't have a Carnelian on your weapon or despised. I also use this within the skill tree, so the round shield. When I use defense resolved, base damage increased by 20%, whilst defense resolved is active. So this is why I use this ability first. Get my Whirling Blade in, and then Upheaval. And Upheaval does a stupid amount of damage now. This Whirling Blade also includes Rend. Just going over each stat so you can read it. I'm quite ill at the moment, so bear with me. And I've also included empowerment. So how we run our group, we have 2 groups of 10 people. The first group will be the tank. He will be playing with the 2 spears and 2 healers within that group. The second group we play is me, kind of Offtank, SNS DPS build. As long as I have my sword and shield out, I'll be giving the team, my group, not the whole raid, my group, 10% leadership passive. So we have 4 rapiers with me. We have 3 evade rapier players, which is roughly this skill tree. You could change this slightly. You could remove this and put a second target into riposte for empowerment. And we have 3 invade rapier skill trees and a blood rapier, dealing max damage against all bosses and opponents. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I would suggest one thing on the first boss. I go full strike, pretty much. Change amulets. Second boss, I go thrust. And on the final boss, I go full nature, and I change my build to a dex build for the extra crit chance when empowered. So every time I'm empowered, I'll be doing more crit chance. And it's important to have 2 hatchet players on the final boss, because these do 30% more damage to the eggs. Now, what I would suggest for your buffs, I would use Honing Stone, Infused Angry Earth Ward Pot, Infused Angry Earth Coating, Desert Sunrise, because there's a lot of dot damage in this, whether it's the final boss or of the mobs. There's a lot of bleeds, there's a lot of nature damage. Desert Sunrise is going to be your friend. And any boot, I use 44 food buff. You can use 48 if you need it. But for my builds, I don't really need it at the moment. And I go 5 con. However, you can change that. Now I'm going to go onto my alt, and I'm going to show you what I would do as a new character with low gear score, and show you a build that's friendly to make on new servers and quite easily. It's easy to stay alive with this build compared to this build here. Okay, this is my fresh start character. I am not as rich on this account, and this is the build I've gone for to make it easier on the server. We have less damage, and I believe we need more resistance because the teams are not optimized as well. We do not have max trophies and gear. We still need to find better gear. So I was lucky on the first week I found some decent gear. I got this sword, which is okay. I still want the butcher, but I missed out on the butcher week. I've gone for a clear out hammer on this for the extra rend, which is 24% rend. Again, strike amulet, I've gone for the first boss. Keen awareness is key for sword and shield builds. I don't have an empowering earring yet. A shield is pretty much similar to artisan. Keen vicious, shield aggression. I'm just missing enchanted. Pretty standard build. I've only got 3 out of 4 refreshing. I would like one more refreshing. But I've gone for enchanted ward over anything. And I've gone with the featherweight. So with the featherweight, you can wear a medium hat, medium gloves, medium pants, light boots, and a shield and get to 12.9. This is the perfect weight load for a light DPS sword and shield build with that featherweight. Now this is very good damage too. It's not as good as um, the wizard hat build, but this is definitely easily obtainable, and you will be doing enough damage and keeping your time, your empowerment uptime for your team. And again, I'll be going thrust on the first boss, and I'll be going nature resistance on the final boss. Let me know if there's any videos you'd like to make. I'm thinking of making a videos on how and why people get rejected from M3s, because I've seen a lot of that and a lot of people um, talking about it on Reddit. I think it's pretty simple. A lot of people are going by gear score. Gear score is not very important if you do not have the right gear for the dungeons, but I can go over that in more detail. Let me know if you're interested in that in the comments below. And any other builds you would like me to talk about. I can talk about evade builds, blood rapier builds, spear builds, you name it. And I've played a lot of PvE in New World. I've got over 3,000 hours. So yeah, ask any questions below, and I hope this guide helped any Sword and Shield DPS players. I've really enjoyed playing Sword and Shield recently, and I hope to stick to it. So I'll see you guys soon.